Relationships are an important part of literature. Often, it is the relationships in a story that drive the plot. The prince journeys far and wide to rescue the princess, the angsty teenager spends a movie trying to win over the cool jock, and of course, the dreaded love triangle. More often than not, these cliche relationships end up with the two characters being in a perfect and happy relationship as they ride off into the sunset.
But what can we learn from these picture-perfect relationships other than if you're a princess, your soulmate will magically come riding up to your door even if you've been hidden in a tower for your entire life? Not much. A lot of times, it's the bad relationships we learn the most from. And quite frankly, East of Eden is full of them. Steinbeck uses these unhealthy and imperfect relationships so that the reader can learn from them without having to go through the relationships themselves. Without further ado, here are 3 key things East of Eden teaches about relationships, as well as the importance of having healthy ones.
Number 1, the dangers of jealousy. Steinbeck introduces the Trasks and their toxic family dynamic in the beginning of the novel. Charles and Adam Trask grew up fighting for their father's attention, and after years of being second favorite to his brother Adam, Charles reached a breaking point. One day, both Charles and Adam bring home gifts for their father. Charles gave him an expensive knife, while Adam gives Cyrus a stray pup. When Cyrus favors the pup, Charles becomes so full of envy that he violently beats Adam and later attempts to kill him. This extreme situation shows the audience the treachery that comes from bearing your feelings. Letting feelings of anger and jealousy build and build until you can't contain them is unhealthy for both your well-being and the person you are envious of. Through the Trask brothers, Steinbeck teaches us not to act on feelings of anger or envy, or the consequences will be devastating.
Number 2. Love is a complicated thing. It can be confusing at times, but adults usually have it all figured out, right? Well, that's not the case here for Adam Trask. A main theme Steinbeck focuses on is falling in love with the idea of someone and not actually the individual with all their flaws and monstrosity. Sound familiar, old sport? Kathy Ames, quite possibly the worst character you'll ever be introduced to, captures Adam's heart. Adam, however, is so preoccupied with her beauty and the dream he has created for her, he cannot see through her true intentions. This here is a relationship do not. Making sure you're falling in love with who the person really is will save you from the unexpected heartbreak that comes when the person you created in your mind is not who they truly are. Or, in Adam's case, a bullet to the shoulder.
The third and final unhealthy couple we will discuss is Aaron and Abra. Their relationship began as an innocent childhood crush, but as time went on, Aaron began to create unrealistic expectations for Abra. As a result, Abra always felt pressure to be someone that she was not. She confessed to Lee that she, quote, is always afraid he'll see something in me that isn't the Abra he made up. I'll get mad or smell bad or something else, end quote. By wanting her to be essentially perfect, Aaron trapped Abra in his unrealistic expectations for her. She felt that she could never mess up or act differently because she didn't want to disappoint Aaron. Eventually, this would have gotten extremely exhausting for Abra, and their relationship would have been unsuccessful and toxic if Aaron hadn't, died in war or something. Aaron needed to remember that no one is perfect, and if he had just remembered this, he could have protected Abra from the stressful pressures of trying to be unrealistically perfect.
So what can high school kids learn from this 1930s novel? These relationships and the lessons that come from them are essentially timeless. This is especially useful to high schoolers as they venture into adulthood and form relationships, whether romantic or otherwise.